If Greece's politics has changed, Spain's is changing. There's a powerful new party here, also on the far left, which also rejects German-led austerity. It's called Podemos, which means we can.
The main contributors, they are not paying taxes and they are just robbing, and this is enough. We say enough, stop, we cannot handle anymore.
Arriving at a rally in Valencia, the party's leader is a clever, charismatic former university professor. With his trademark ponytail, Pablo Iglesias looks different and sounds different to other political leaders in Spain. And since his party burst onto the political scene in last year's European elections, his potent anti-corruption, anti-austerity message has put his party in first place in many of the polls. Syriza Podemos, together we will defeat them, starts Mr. Iglesias. He's a close ally and friend of the new left-wing leader of Greece, and the analogies come thick and fast.
It's a disaster that 3 million Greeks don't have access to healthcare. It's a disaster that 25% of workers there are poor. And I don't want my country to become Greece. And that's why we need to win.
If they were to rule Spain, Podemos say they'd carry out an audit of the country's debt and decide which parts shouldn't be paid. They want a better minimum wage, a maximum wage, and higher taxes on the rich.
What do you say to people who write you off as a left-wing radical? What do you say to those people?
It's not a problem between left and right. It's a problem between democracy and austerity. And I think democracy is going to win.
It's a message that chimes in Spain. Linda Herrada is half British, half Spanish.
At the moment, countries like Spain are just under the orders of Angela Merkel, and that has to change. Why do we have to do what Angela Merkel says when there are people in Spain that haven't got food, haven't got a good education? The public health is, the waiting lists are tremendous. I mean, that's...
Isn't austerity working in Spain? There's growth now in the economy.
No. It might be working for the politicians, but it's not working for the people.
Even though Spain's economy is expected to grow at a faster rate this year than any other country in the Eurozone, the popularity of the country's two main parties has plummeted.
Podemos is successfully tapping into a deep level of dissatisfaction with Spanish politics, and in particular a sense of injustice, that those suffering most from a financial crisis, caused in large part by reckless bank lending, which fueled a crazy construction spree here, are the poor, and Spain's sizable middle class.
But even middle-class families who've not been affected by the crisis are turning to this new left-wing movement. Maria Luisa de la Oliva used to vote socialist, but wants change. She'll vote Podemos, as will her son Nicholas. He'll be a first-time voter in a general election at the end of this year.
They can change Spain, the things in Spain, because they are like normal people. They are not like traditional politicians. I mean, I think as we see the politicians in Spain, they are also always wearing suits or expensive suits, going in expensive cars.
And when it comes to money, Spain has no better symbol of what went wrong than Valencia's futuristic-looking City of Arts and Sciences, which cost a whopping 1.3 billion euros.
Valencia is synonymous with corruption. In the past few years, in this region alone, more than 100 politicians from the Popular Party have been implicated in scandals. And it's ostentatious white elephants like this one that are a constant kick in the teeth for those struggling to pay the bills. Even this traditionally right-leaning Spanish region is now fertile territory for a new left-wing party.
Syriza Podemos, venceremos!
Last week, Podemos' leader was in Greece, campaigning with his left-wing ally and now election winner Alexis Tsipras. In the past, Pablo Iglesias worked for and openly praised Venezuela's former leader, Hugo Chavez.
They come from a very old style left. in the School of Political Sciences. And they have learned also in Venezuela and Bolivia and countries which are not exactly an example of democracy. So we will see.
But Spain's main parties are rattled. At his party's annual conference last night, Spain's Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy said voting for Podemos would be like playing Russian roulette. But in Valencia, Pablo Iglesias had this message for Mr. Rajoy. Your time is running out.
Tic tac, tic tac.